Welcome to my channel AI Learning Solutions. Before getting started with today's episode, let's do a quick recap what we covered in previous episode. We explored about cloud concepts. We discussed how business of all sizes require various resources and how these can be efficiently met by cloud solutions. Providers like Microsoft Azure offers infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Not only this, based on business needs, cloud deployment can be private, public, or hybrid. With the benefit of pay as you go model, you can reduce the cost by paying only for the used resources. We also discussed that cloud services scale easily to match business growth, ensuring optimal performance. Managed cloud providers enhance security and compliances, while cloud tools improve team collaboration. Furthermore, cloud enables faster deployment and innovation. So let's talk about today's session. Tutorial episode, we will understand how we can start with Microsoft Azure Cloud. We will also learn how to work with command line in Azure, and we will see some command execution. Hello learners, I am Shalini, a Microsoft certified trainer with 20 years experience, and you are watching Azure Fundamentals tutorial episode series. To get the notification for upcoming episodes, make sure to subscribe my channel and press bell icon. Before getting started, let's talk about what does Microsoft Azure offer us. Azure provides more than 100 services. It enables you to build and deploy and manage applications across a global network of data centers. You can do everything from hosting websites till building intelligent bots. You can run virtual machines and utilize cloud storage. Not only this, Azure support advanced analytics, artificial intelligence, and Internet of Things solutions for business innovation. Guys, if you have interest in building AI-enabled applications without learning core AI, you can check out my videos on Azure AI services on my channel. To begin with Azure Cloud, the first thing which you need is Azure account and subscription. So let's see what to do for it. So let's see how you can create your Microsoft Azure account. So what you need to do, open the browser. Recommend is in private browser and refer to azure.microsoft.com. On this particular website, you will get the options to create your account for the subscription. So you can see here, there is an option available, get started with Azure. So it is a good idea if you already hold a Microsoft account and you just click on this, get started with Azure, and you will land up on a page where you will get an option, try Azure for free. Also, you can see pay as you go feature is available. So at this point of time, we are just continuing on try Azure for free. So you simply click on try Azure for free. It will give you a registration form and you need to create your account. Now you can see what all benefits you are getting. So it is available only to new Azure customers. Free monthly amount of 20 plus popular services for 12 months. Free monthly amount of 65 uh, always free services. Access to full catalog of services up to free amount and $200 credit, spending protection. Uh, you might be required to fill up the credit card details when you create your registration, but you can see it won't be charged. And no upfront commitment, you can cancel it anytime. Also, you get the option to move to pay as you go pricing to continue beyond 30 days or after credit that $200 credit is used up. On the same page, you will be able to see that we have pay as you go also. So what all benefits you are getting when you go for pay as you go. So free definitely is there, and add on you're going to have. Now, if you wanted to explore what all free products you are going to have, if your credit is still expired and what is the limit, you can scroll on the same page. If you go completely down, the services which you're looking at, these are popular services. However, it gives you the option to look at entire free services which are available when you create your Azure account. So just scroll down on the same page and you can see there is an option, see all free services. Just click on that and you will land up on a page where you will be able to see what all free services you have access to when you create your account on Azure. I hope you get some fair idea about how to enable your subscription. So using these steps where you are supposed to fill the registration and you will get a subscription on Azure. So you need to have your account and you will get your subscription as well. So this is the first step which you need to have if you wanted to work with Azure Cloud. I already have my account, so I'm not creating it in this session. Now you may be ready with your Azure account and subscription. Before you begin with Azure Cloud Interface, it is important to understand Azure core architectural components. And these components are divided into two groups: physical infrastructure and management infrastructure. So there are two main components. The physical infrastructure includes data centers and network hardware. However, management infrastructure encompasses tools like Azure Resource Manager for resource provisioning and monitoring. The separation ensures scalability, security, and efficient management of cloud resources. Let's understand the physical infrastructure of Azure. The physical infrastructure for Azure starts with data centers. They are facilitating with resources arranged in racks with dedicated power, cooling, and networking infrastructure. As a global cloud provider, Azure has data centers around the world. Let's explore it furthermore. These data centers are directly accessible. Data centers are grouped into Azure regions or Azure availability zones that are designed to help you achieve resiliency and reliability for your business critical workloads. Let's see how it is visible in a global center. So you need to refer to a website, that is datacenters.microsoft.com, and using this web portal, it gives you a chance to interactively explore underlying Azure infrastructure. So I just click on explore the globe. Now you can see the complete globe and it is giving you the interactive approach to see where all data centers of Azure Cloud is available. As I mentioned, data centers are grouped under regions and availability zone. So now let's talk about region and availability zone. When you deploy a resource in Azure, you will often need to choose the region where you want your resource deployed. You want to ensure your services and data are redundant so you can protect your information in case of failure. When you host your infrastructure, setting up your own redundancy requires that you create duplicate hardware environments, right? A single geography may have at least one or more regions, and every region consists of one or more data centers within availability zone. So you can check upon this image. There is an availability zone. Okay, so there is one geography. Under the geography there is an Azure region, and within the Azure region we have multiple availability zone, and within this region we have multiple data centers. So these, basis on the availability zone, data centers are placed. So these data centers are connected by a high capacity, fault tolerant, low latency network connection. So these are physical structure of Azure Cloud. The image is representing only one geography, but actually it is globally present. As I mentioned, each availability zone is made up of one or more data center which are equipped with independent power, cooling, and networking. An availability zone is set up to be an isolation boundary. If one zone goes down, the other continues working. Availability zone are connected through high-speed private fiber optic networks. Now, it is important to note that most Azure regions are paired with another region within the same geography, such as US, Europe, or Asia, at least 300 miles away. So, the concept is known as pair regions. And these regions, one region is paired with another region with at least 300 miles away. This approach allows for the replication of resources across a geography that helps reduce the likelihood of interruptions because of events such as natural disaster, civil unrest, power outage, or physical network outage that affect an entire region. For better understanding, let me share some important references. One of the important link is www.azurespeed.com/azure/latency. Latency plays a very important role. So in this particular screen, you are on the page where you can choose different regions and you can check the latency with respect to your current location, which will help you to choose the correct region for the resource to be deployed. Lower the latency value is a good choice for your region selection. So you can see here I have compared Central India and East US latency values, and because I belong to India, so it is very much clear to me that I can check upon the latency and I should choose Central India for my resource deployment. Also on the same page, you can see the geography, regions, and the paired region as well, and how many zones are available in a particular region. So it's a very good website which you should look at. In addition to the regular regions, Azure also has sovereign regions. Sovereign regions are instances of Azure that are isolated from the main instance of Azure. And you may need to use a sovereign region for compliance or legal purposes, which can also be seen from the same page. Now, let's talk about management infrastructure. The management infrastructure includes Azure resources and resource groups, subscription, and accounts. Understanding the hierarchical organization will help you plan your projects and products within Azure. Resource groups are simply grouping of resources. When you create a resource, you are required to place it in a resource group. While a resource group can contain many resources, a single resource can only be in one resource group at a time. The second thing is Azure subscription. As I mentioned, using Azure requires Azure subscription. A subscription provides you with authenticated and authorized access to Azure products and services. An Azure subscription links to an Azure account, which is an identity in Microsoft Entra ID. It's a very important term which you must know about it. So it creates an identity when you have an Azure subscription, which is known as Azure Entra ID, or it is in a directory that in Microsoft Azure Entra ID Trust. You can use Azure subscription to define boundaries around Azure products, services, and resources. Point to be noted, there are two types of subscription boundaries that you can use. One is billing boundary, and second is access control boundary. In case of billing boundary, each one generates separate invoicing and billing reports, allowing organizations to track and manage costs independently. For an example, finance, HR, and IT might each have their own subscription to isolate costs. One subscription for development and testing, another for production workloads. So you can think about this way. The other approach, as I mentioned, access control boundary. It defines how permissions and policies are applied across Azure resources. Azure uses role-based access control. In this access control, you have RBAC and policy assignments at subscription level. Suppose your organization has departments like finance, HR, and IT. You can assign each department its own subscription and custom access rules. For an example, finance gets access to cost management tools, while IT has full control over the infrastructure resources. So you can think and plan accordingly. And this model is especially powerful when combined with Azure management groups, which lets you apply policies across multiple subscription in a hierarchy. So if you have many subscriptions, you might need a way to efficiently manage access, policies, and compliances for those subscriptions. And here comes Azure management groups. The Azure management groups provide a level of scope about subscription. You organize subscription into containers called management groups and apply governance conditions to the management groups. Some important facts about management groups: only 10K management groups can be supported in a single directory. A management group tree can support up to 6 levels of depth, and this limit does not include the root level or the subscription level. And each management group and subscription can support only one parent. If you're liking the explanation, if you are interested to deep dive into this particular course, you can connect with me on the shared email ID as well. So let's move ahead. Now you have learned about the core components. Let's see a quick demo on the Azure interface to begin with. So once you have Azure account and subscription, you need to go to portal.azure.com, and in this portal you need to simply sign in with the user credential with which you have the Azure subscription available. So let me sign in. After signing in, you can actually click on get started, but I am clicking on cancel right now. And this is the main home page of Microsoft Azure Cloud. Now at this point of time, we are interacting with Cloud Shell. So from the corner, right side top corner, I am accessing Cloud Shell. So whenever you have Azure Cloud, you by default get a Cloud Shell. And it gives you two options here. You can see Bash and PowerShell. So let's begin with Bash first. On this get started screen, I'm just simply selecting my subscription and I'm just waiting for the prompt to appear on my screen. So this is the command line interface of Bash from the Cloud Shell I'm accessing. We will now first look at how we will understand that is it a Bash shell or is it a PowerShell. So you can see here the Bash is the starting from the username itself. So when you open the Cloud Shell with the Bash, the username is coming in the beginning of your prompt, which will help you to identify that it is a Bash prompt. Now, from the Bash, if I wanted to switch to PowerShell, I have the option available. I click on switch to PowerShell and simply I'm switching to the PowerShell now. Now, when the PowerShell is there, you can see PS is written. So when the PowerShell is on your screen within the Cloud Shell, you will be able to see PS written, which is representation of PowerShell in the prompt itself. So under the command line interface, we are getting the option to understand whether it is a bash or is it a PowerShell, so that you can write the commands accordingly. Now, after looking at the prompts, we are going to execute some of the Azure commands, because as a developer or as an administrator, we wanted to automate the things which is possible through commands. So we are trying to execute some commands here on the PowerShell itself. So the Azure commands start with a z keyword, and after that I just write the command. So I say az version. So az version is giving me the details of the version. You can see the output on the screen. Now suppose I'm interested to look at the help. So I'm writing az hyphen hyphen help, and it will open the help option of az command. So you can see the long list is visible on my screen. So for whatever command I am interested, I can check upon with this help. Now suppose I want my commands to be working in interactive mode. So how to activate? Write AZ space interactive. So it will activate the interactive extension on the Cloud Shell. Now what is the benefit? When I activate this interactive Cloud Shell, now if I write my command, it will provide me the IntelliSense feature to choose the command from. So you can see how it is behaving. And now to select any required command, I will press the tab key. It will select the required command and I can execute. So this is the interactive way of working with AZ command. So whatever way you like, if you are able to remember the command perfectly, go for it. Otherwise, you can activate your command shell with the interactive mode. So that's all on this particular session and episode. I believe you like the content of this episode and looking for the next. So stay tuned. We will come back in next episode of Azure Fundamentals with more practical. If you want to learn in interactive training sessions, drop your query to the email. Thanks for watching. Meet you in the next episode. Bye bye.